What is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny gameplay video. In this video we're going to take a look at the Clevah Dragon. This is the pulse rifle that is new and unique to Iron Banner, come with the Rise of Iron DLC. Now I do really like this pulse rifle. Let me show you the roll that I got on mine. Actually, this is the identical roll I had on both of my two that have dropped. Mine has Hidden Hand, Outlaw, Quick Draw. I ended up running with Quick Draw and Braced Frame in those trees. I also have Hammer Forged if I wanted to go that route, but I went for high stability, and this thing is like a laser beam. It is a Grasp of Malak type of pulse rifle. This actual gameplay here on Exodus Blue, I actually decided, you know what, I'm going to challenge myself to go primary only for a match. So I didn't use the special weapon at all. I ended up on top of the leaderboard and we mercied. So yeah, it turned out pretty well. But I'm a huge fan of this pulse rifle. Let me just tell you from the get-go that it's a top-tier pulse in my opinion. I'm not saying it's the most powerful, best pulse rifle in the game. I mean, maybe with the right rolls, but with mine, I'd say that I would use it. I would probably use it over My Grasp. My Grasp doesn't have the best roll in the world, and I farmed the crap out of Omnigul a long time, and My Grasp that I use is only okay, I think. But this one I would use over My Grasp. I'm not sure if I would say that I prefer it to my Hawksaw, but I will say that it is a top tier pulse. You really can't go wrong using this thing. It really does melt people in these open engagements, these 1v1 engagements, and you'll see that consistently throughout the gameplay. But I ended up, for the past couple of days, I've played almost exclusively with this in my primary slot so that I could get a good rhythm with the pulse rifle, and I don't regret doing that. I've had a lot of really positive games using this thing, and it couples quite nicely with things like sidearms and fusion rifles or shotguns. So here's that match. I mean, it ended up with 27 score out of, I think, those 92 that we had overall before we mercied. So I was quite pleased with that. So I really like this thing in open engagements. In these 1v1s, you'll see it's just really just melting people. I'd be interested to know if you got one of these, what your role might have been. Now I will say this, I know that people have been getting different roles, various roles, but I'm seeing like repeats of those roles. So I almost feel, my guess is that there's maybe 5 to 6 set roles for this thing that can drop. I've had the exact same identical roll twice out of the 2 that I've had drop. They've been identical. But I've seen other people posting their roles, but I've seen a lot of repeats. Like theirs looks like someone else's, etc., etc. So, anyways, I'd be interested to know if you got one of these to drop. What's your role that you got on yours? Kind of compare apples to apples here, and see how many archetypes or how many set roles there might be. So I'm a fan of this archetype of pulse rifle as it is. People like to use this archetype. It's pretty effective in 1v1 engagements, especially in flinching like snipers and stuff. So if you get one that has, I've seen some people that have high cal rounds, and that may be a really, really good roll if you were to get that. Mine just has really good hit registration and stability between Hidden Hand and Braced Frame. And I like that a lot. But I do wish I had, instead of Quick Draw in the middle tree, I wish I had high cal rounds. I would probably say this might be one of the best pulse rifles in the game. If it had that roll, I would use it all the freaking time. And I'm still going to use it quite a bit. I think I'm going to use this in trials this weekend and see how it goes. But my problem right now is that I just have too many pulse rifles I like. There's so many good pulse rifles floating around right now. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to use. But that's okay. You know, we've seen a hand cannon driven meta in the past. I think it'd be cool. There was that brief stage in the Crucible where pulse rifles were king, and I think that was overall a good meta. I think a pulse meta isn't a bad thing at all. So if we're saturating the market in Rise of Iron with great pulse rifles, I'm not opposed to that. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with seeing Hawksaws, Waltzes, the Clevah Dragon, Blind Perdition. I'm totally cool with seeing these pulse rifles more frequently in the Crucible. I think that pulse rifles overall take a lot of marksmanship and control over your primary, so I'm totally okay with that. I like it a lot. So I've had a lot of fun using this pulse rifle, and I'm curious to know, what's your role? Are you liking it? What would you rate this gun out of 10 with your particular role? Because it's difficult to rate someone else's roll when you haven't used it. So rate your own. Even if you got a crap roll, be honest and say, hey, this thing sucks. For your roll, that may be true. For my roll, I think mine's a solid 8.5 out of 10. or even close to a 9. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what yours is, and I'll catch you in the Crucible.